We are live. Do you want to introduce us? And I will go let everyone know we're live.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Wealthy Woman Playbook. I'm your host, Tara.
And I'm Jess.
And today we have a really amazing topic to talk about. Before we get started, just want to share with you guys that On the Daily is opening back up. So if you missed the first round, we're launching it again. Instead of it being 30 days, it's going to be 90 days. We have a discount if you pay in full. We have payment plan options. We have two payment plan options. And we are also releasing our very first ever 8-week mastermind for our high ticket sales business, whether you are part of our team or not. We're only accepting 8 individuals into this program. So if you've already earned 5 figures and you're ready to really get to your next level, I'm talking 80, 90, $100,000 a month. This is for you. Just send Jess or I a message with the word mastermind, and we'll go ahead and give you a little bit of the details. Remember, when you are investing into a program, mentorship, things like that, you're not investing from a place of, when things get a little bit better, then I'll get there, or when I make a little bit of more money, then I'll do it. You're investing from, if I get into this, I am going to quantum leap to where I want to be, because you're getting into a space where other people can see your blocks, see your blinders, things that you can't see, to help you tweak them so that you can, go a lot faster than where you are now. So if this sounds like something that you're interested in, definitely reach out to one of us. We would love to have you. But once all 8 spots are filled, we will be closing it. We already have spots filled already. So it's definitely going to be a first come, first served basis. So yeah, I just wanted to share that with you guys. We have incredible things coming up. But for today's topic, I think this is a very important topic because we see it happen all the time. And no matter, what industry you're in, this is something that you will see over and over again, right? And what that is when you have two people who have the same strategy, they're coming in at the same exact time with no experience, and one takes off and one doesn't. And for a very long time, being a mentor, this is something that used to like weigh heavy on me. And I used to take it very personal and think that it was something wrong with me, or why am I not helping this person to get results, things like that. But what it really boils down to is that it's not me. It's each individual person, and this has a lot to do with strategy, and this also has a lot to do with belief and energetics. And as much as people want to negate energetics, energetics is real and it's very, very important. So I'm gonna pass this over to Jess while I let my daughter in the door because she's banging on the door. So I'll be right back.
So I am with Tara, where this used to frustrate me and make me feel like there was something wrong with my coaching or my mentorship or my system or whatever it be, because it is very true. You can have two people come in, use the same system, and get different results. And why is this? And what I've really learned over time is that people come in with all kinds of different experiences, perspectives, baggage, mindsets, whatever it's going to be. And it's a very individualistic journey. It really is. And so, as a leader, I had to kind of think about, okay, does everyone have everything that they need to be successful? And if the answer is yes, then we know at that point, okay, it's a mindset thing, it's an energetic thing, it's not a system thing. And
Right.
that's kind of, where we are with a lot of our stuff. Is like the system works. Why aren't some people duplicating like they should? And so for me, what I had to realize before I had any results, when I was, just a baby in my businesses, I didn't have any revenue yet. I didn't have any sales yet. I was in the same position where I was in a community and I was like, okay, it is working for all of these people. So obviously it works. The business works and the system and the coaching works. So why isn't it working for me? And I was like smacked in the face with like, oh crap. If it's working for other people, I am the problem. And when I had this realization and literally got smacked in the face with it, it was a hard pill to swallow because our ego wants to place blame outside of ourselves. Our ego wants to be like, well, the coach is giving this person some sort of secret that they're not giving anyone else. The mentor is spending so much more time with this person rather than me. Like they have access to something that I don't have access to. And it's really easy to start placing blame outside of ourselves because it is hard for our ego to realize that we are our own problem. But it wasn't. Yep. And so it wasn't until I took that radical responsibility for my lack of success, then I finally could start making some changes to what I needed to do. I could get serious about, okay, so what am I not doing to the full extent? Because that is what we will hear all day long from other people is I'm doing everything and it's not working. And I was one of those people. I was like, I'm doing everything and it's not working. And again, as soon as I took radical responsibility for my lack of results, I realized I was not doing everything. I was doing everything to maybe at like a 25% capacity, hoping for like these extreme results. And it's kind of like that quote that's out there where it's like, you can't expect CEO wages on like a minimum wage mentality. And that is so freaking true. Like we see the crazy results that people get online and we think that it's easy. We think that, anyone should just be able to make it happen. But here is the other truth bomb that sometimes hurts people's feelings, but like you need to hear it. If you're looking at someone online and you're like, okay, she made $30,000 this month. She made $50,000 this month. She made $70,000 this month. How come I'm not making that kind of money? Here's the thing. They're outworking you. That is all it is. They are putting in the reps. They are putting in the time. They have made sacrifices. They have spent time choosing, pain over pleasure. They're not going on date nights. They're not sitting up, Netflix and chilling all night. They're on sales calls late at night. Like it's crazy. The people who are creating mass duplication in my high ticket business, I'll be on like a closing training with them. And one of them in particular, she's always like, oh, I have to hop off to go do a sales call. And it's like 8 o'clock at night, my time. I'm like, what's going on over here, right? Like they are putting in the reps and they are outworking you, which is why they are getting the results that they are. And so we have to humble ourselves enough to be like, okay, what am I doing or not doing to get where I want to be? And again, it's easy to be like, I'm doing everything and it's just not working. And that's not true.
Yeah, I totally agree. When I started high ticket sales, this was something that I had never done. Like, yes, I had been in sales for so long, but high ticket sales was a different breed, right? So I really had to essentially unlearn everything that I had learned for all these years and become a beginner, which at first my ego was like, I got this. Like, I know how to do this. Like, I've been in so many different businesses and like everything I've done everything I touch turns to platinum. And yes, that's true. But for this specific business, I really needed to be like, okay, yeah, you can bring some of the things that you've learned into this business, like the marketing side and the coaching side. But when it comes to actually like the pre-qualifying, getting on sales calls, it is very, very different. And so that hindered my success. And until I really took a step back and said, okay, I'm watching people that are way less qualified than me. I don't say that in a rude way. I'm saying like people who haven't ever had success, like online or in any type of sales, are coming in and like smashing it and closing, all these 13, 15, $20,000 deals. And here I am 3 weeks in having all these sales calls. I'm not closing anything. So at that point, I'm like, okay, like it's a me thing, of course. So let me reroute myself, humble myself, and start over, right? And at that point, it was like, I'm not going to stop until I start getting until I get that first sale. Like people will ask me all the time, like, how many hours were you working when you first got started? And I tell them all the time, like, well, I wasn't counting the hours, but what I will tell you is that I did not stop working my business until I got that first sale. Like there was no stopping me. Yes, I had some meltdowns here and there, but I would give myself a little bit of time to like, throw my toys out of the freaking playpen for a little bit. But then I would be like, okay, back to work. Because I'm the type of person, like with my personality, that I will not allow something to defeat me. Like, just to give you a quick example, I hated math my entire life. Hated it, hated it, hated it. When I got to college, I so badly wanted an A in math. And I said, if my degree wasn't going to be in criminal justice, I would have just majored in math just because I wanted to master it so badly. Like I refused to allow it to defeat me. Like that's my personality. Even though I hate it so much, I didn't want that to hold it. I didn't want the thing that I couldn't get to hold power over me. So that's how I felt about this. And I think people will like try. And then like after a little while, they're like, all right, it's not working. And then they give up and they're like, you know what? I just need to take a little break and like recharge and like come back. And it's like, no, like you don't take a break. You keep on going because you have to build that stamina up to get to that point. How bad do you really want it? And I wanted it so bad. So I really think that that is what it boils down to. It's like the strategy plus having the work ethic plus being okay with where you are, but wanting to get better day after day after day after day. Every day you're showing up, you're getting a little bit better at showing up. You know, your marketing is a little bit better, your pre-qualifying it's a little bit better. Like you're determined to become better. You're not just showing up and being like, well, I did the best that I could do. No, because there's always room for improvement every day. Even myself, every day, I know that there's room for improvement. Um, so there's that. There's the belief in yourself. And there's also, you know, holding that energetics of that it's already done. You don't need to figure out the how. Your job is the what and the why. That's it. What you're doing, why do you want it, and continuing to show up to get it. So that is, you know, that's really what it boils down to. Because if two people can have the same exact strategy and one person, maybe it takes them a month to make their first sale, and then you have somebody else who's in the business for 6 months and they still haven't made their first sale, I can guarantee you that if I look at that person who's been in for 6 months, if I look at their business for the entire 6 months, I can find multiple reasons why they haven't made their first sale. 100%.
100%. And it's like, we also have to remember that it's really easy to get distracted by the results that other people are having, but we don't know their story. Like, we don't know what experience they had before. Like, even if they had never made money before, they might have a different level of emotional intelligence. They might have a different level of maturity. They might have a different experience just being in a business before. Like, being a mom teaches you things that people who aren't moms don't know. Like, we don't know the story to before the success. We see the success and we think it was just that. And like, I am such a good example of that, because we talk a lot about my success from when I quit my social work career and then I jumped into my businesses full time. And then it was like, oh, Jessica's a fast success, right? She did all of this in, 3 years and created this success. But it was like, there's 4 years of trial and error in network marketing before I quit my job, 4 years of it. And it's like, if I sat down and told you right now, you have to wait 4 years of going all in, it not showing, looking like it's ever going to work for you, would you do it? And a lot of people will, like, you'll say, if I ask you that question right now, you'll say like, oh yeah, if I knew I was going to live for life in 4 years, totally, I would go through it. But the tenacity and the dedication that it takes to experience failure after failure after failure after failure for years and to still believe this is going to be the thing that sets me free, it takes a lot. And a lot of people, that's the skill that they're missing, is that determination and that dedication when it looks like it's not going to work, but believing and having faith that it is going to work at some point. We don't know when that time is going to be. We don't know when we're going to strike gold all of a sudden. But if you give up, you'll never get there. And so you have to look at like, how much time and sacrifice are you willing to put in to then live a life that most people won't ever get to experience? And so many people are putting a time frame attached to that goal that we totally forget the whole point of this. And if your whole point of being in network marketing, coaching, or this industry in whatever way, like if your goal is to just get rich quick and live a life that, everything is just easy, you're not going to create that here. And so you're not going to be given the things that you want. We still go through trial and error. We still have to invest into our growth and development, because if we want to have the capacity to hold a team that does millions and millions and millions of dollars per month, like we have to increase our capacity to hold that, because that takes a higher level of emotional intelligence. That takes a higher level of maturity. That takes a higher level of discipline. That takes a higher level of dedication. Like, it doesn't stop. And so if your idea is like, I want to scale network marketing to get to $10,000 per month and then my life will be easy and I'll be able to just chill, it's not going to be like that. It's not going to be like that. Now, we get to live
there. There's more things that at that level that you have to hold and carry in trials and then to get to the next one, it's just constant.
It's never ending. And it's a beautiful thing. But this is why a lot of people give up, is because it's just easier to go sit at your 9 to 5 and sit behind a desk and have a boss tell you what to do every day. And then you get to mentally check out at the end of the day. But for me, that just was never my vibe. That's just, I can't do that. And I don't want to do that. I want to fail. I want to figure out what my full potential in this lifetime truly is. But again, there is that moment in time when it feels like it's not working out, and it feels like it's working out for everyone but you. But here's one of the things the last things I'll say on this, and I'll pass it back over to Tara, is that that period of time when you're in the sticky phase of like wanting to get out of your job, wanting to build your business, or even if you're not in a job, but like in that phase, that like beginner phase of building your business, which is the hardest, is like your first 1,000, then your first 10,000. Like those are the hardest. But when you're in that phase, that's when character is built.
Mhm.
And that is so valuable in our industry. It's not even funny. Like you want that, like if you were just handed everything to you, it's not going to build any character. You're not going to respect your money. You're not going to respect your wealth. You're not going to respect your team. You're not going to have any self-discipline. You're not going to have, any gratitude for what you have. If it all of a sudden fast success gets to you, like this is why you guys, people win the lottery and lose all of the money. Like you, like
100%.
there's all that, there's shows out there, right? Like I won the lottery and lost it all. Money doesn't cure the problem. It's the character building. It's the emotional intelligence. It's the knowledge. It's the wisdom. It's all of that accumulated with the growth and the evolution over your lifetime is what is going to allow you to make the kind of money that you want to make and then be able to hold it with respect.
Yeah.
Like people forget that.
No, they definitely do. And, even for me, when I was coming from working 2 jobs, government assistance, food stamps, like I had to learn how to become a person to hold that kind of wealth and, figure out, what type of person, can compound that wealth. Like there's just a lot that goes into it. And people think like, oh, I should be, so much further along. And it's like, well, I'll tell you this, like, based off of your actions and who you are inside, you are exactly where you are meant to be. Because if you were doing the things really necessary to get to that level, you would already be there. And that's the thing that people don't want to look in the mirror and, reflect on self and take that radical responsibility. Like it's easier to say, it's because of this, it's because of that. It's because, like, I say all the time, some people be like, oh, I can't get on that call because, my husband's working late tonight, or my husband. I never had anybody in my house to help me with my kids. And I was the one hosting the calls. Okay. I had to make sure that they were settled, they were good before I hopped on. Then they would come in sometimes and and it was what it was. But I didn't make excuses. There were times where if I wasn't hosting the call and I had to be on the call, I was laying in my bed with Christian next to me and he was watching his iPad and I was on the call. I mean, you just make it work, like I made it work for years. Like there's no excuse. You either want it or you don't. It's really that simple. And just to kind of piggyback off of what Jess said earlier about, you can take the easy way out and like go work a job and then come home and like mentally check out. And it's like, okay, you might choose the easy now, but it's going to be hard later.
Yeah.
Right. But also on that, is that really easy? Because now you're working 40 hours a week for a paycheck that's already spent before you get it. You have nothing left. You're never going to be able to experience the capacity of life. Like, what if you don't want to live where you're at? Like, there's a better place where with better culture, or, it's not as expensive, or maybe you're never going to be able to experience like what it is to travel first class, or, go travel to Paris or South Africa or whatever, and the thing is that maybe like in your mind you might be like, well, I don't even care if I like never do that. But if you had the money and you chose to not want to do that, that's okay. But you're not doing that because you don't have the option to be able to do that or experience that. And that's not because of the economy or where you grew up or any of your circumstances. That is because that is the life that you are choosing right now. People get mad and they get triggered. And I've been saying this for years. Being broke is a choice in 2020. I was saying in 2024, 3, 2. In 2025, being broke is a choice. There are so many ways. I just sent my daughter a link like 3 weeks ago for a link to basically you play games and you win money, basically. And you can earn like $100 a day just from playing games. The point in me saying that is there are ways to make money. There's millions of ways to make money. So you are just choosing to either A, be lazy and not look for other ways. Or B, you just kind of like, some people just love to like wallow in their circumstances for whatever reason, and that's to each their own. You choose what you want to do. But I knew that I wanted to experience life. I knew that I did, and I wasn't going to allow the fact that I was born to a single mom who suffered from addiction. My dad was never part of my life. I didn't hit the lottery in love and have somebody to take care of me forever. So I had to give that to myself. Nobody was coming to save me. And I hate to say it, but nobody's coming to save you either. So if you want more, you've got to go out there and get more. If you want to build a big business, you have to become valuable. And if you're not valuable, you need to become valuable, and you need to show to people why they should invest with you, join with you, buy with you, and so forth and so on. So that is truly the reason on why you can give two people the same exact strategy, and why one person will take it all the way and the other person won't. One person might be like, oh, I still haven't made like any sales, but like I'm continuing to go, and eventually they do. We have one girl on our team. She didn't make her first sale for 5 weeks. 5 weeks, and she had a lot of pressure on her. But in her first year, she made $300,000. $300,000, even though she didn't make her first sale in 5 weeks. And she was doing everything. And eventually, at her fifth week, she started making sales, and boom, she's one of the top producers on our team. But she got there because she was meant to get there based off of the work she was doing, the energy she was holding, and the belief that she had in herself and in the business that she was working. So you've really got to ask yourself, be real. Am I somebody that I would buy with? Am I somebody that I would, do business with? And if the answer is no, then you need to become that person. I'm somebody that I would join with. I'm somebody that I would buy from. I'm somebody I would, do business with 110%. So you got to ask yourself that question, and also ask yourself, how bad do you really want it? Because whether you do it or you don't, people are still going to buy, they're still going to join, and they're still going to change their life. People are going to join today, any business, and in a year from now, make a couple $100,000, and 2 years from now, become a millionaire. That's something that you have to decide for yourself.
Yeah. One of the last two things I want to say is I love that you honed in on, when you have more money, you can do more with it, is basically what you were saying. And here's the thing, when we are so encompassed in the circumstances of our lives, right? Like we're in a job that we don't really care about. We are settling for just enough. We're couponing. We're like, oh, well, we'll put, the vacation once per year on credit cards, and we'll pay it off over the year. And then we'll put the next one on credit cards, and we'll pay it off over the year. And, we'll have to drive to where we want to go because we can't afford to fly. Like, if that's the life that you're currently like surrounded in, you don't know that you want more, because there's not a desire for more, because you have what you have. And I'm such a good test. Like, you guys, when I quit my job, I wanted $3,000 per month to live. That was it. I did not have, I was like, oh, traveling would be nice, but that was such a far-fetched thing in my brain, because no one in my family travels the world. Like, I've never traveled before. My husband had never traveled. Like, it was such a far-fetched thing that it was like a fantasy of like, oh, well, maybe one day I'll experience first class travel when I'm 55. You know what I mean? So it wasn't even like a desire, because it wasn't real, right?
Yeah.
And no one around me, it wasn't real. And then all of a sudden, started making a lot of money, started making 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 a month. And it was like, holy shit, I have so much money. I could do things, right? Like, I could buy the car that I want, me and my husband. Like, we could pay off the debt. We can travel first class. We can take the whole family across the country first class, and it doesn't even matter. Like, all of a sudden, like, this beast inside of me to experience life has like been born over the last couple years. And that is something that I'm ingraining in my children, is like, it's about the experiences. It's not about the cash and the material things. It's about the experiences that we can have. And so many people are living their life broke, busted, and disgusted, like settling for the minimum, because they just don't even think that anything else is possible. But it is. Like, once you start making money and you start getting that choice of freedom, or the freedom of choice, like, all of a sudden you're going to realize, holy shit, I do want to experience that. Oh my God, I want to go there. I want to have that. I want to know what it's like to go to the spa and drop $1,000 and just get everything done that I want to get done. Like, all of a sudden you'll realize that you actually are here and meant to experience more things than you're allowing yourself to think that you're here to experience. But we settle so much for that all of the time. And you used to say something, Tara, in business. I haven't heard you say it in a while, but you used to say something that always stuck with me with people. Like, if we're reflecting on the work that you have done in your business to be where you want to be, right? If you're sitting here and you're watching this and you're not making any money and you're like, I want to make $10,000 a month, like everyone's making it look so easy. The question that Tara used to ask, and I'm probably going to butcher it, so you might have to rephrase it, but is like, if I looked at your business today, would your team be happy by the work that you did based on the pay that they would get? How did you used to say
Yeah,
that?
I used to say, if your team got paid based off of the work that you did today, would they be happy with the amount that they were going to receive, or would they be pissed at the amount that they were going to receive? Right? So ask yourself that. If your team, we're all relying on you based off of the work you're doing today. So the money we're going to get is based off of the work you did today. Are we going to be happy with you, or are we going to be pissed at you? Right? Because all it is based on is the work you did today. So you got to ask yourself that, like, and that's a good way to really gauge yourself and what you're doing every day too. I want to say one thing about the traveling thing. I remember I used to say, like, I don't need to travel first class. Like, that's just something that, like, is just, it's just, I don't need to. Even when I was making good money, I was like, we're going to get there at the same time, blah, blah, blah. The moment that I really treated myself to traveling first class, I cannot travel. I cannot go back. I
Nope.
just there's just no way. It's the convenience. It's I already have massive anxiety when I'm traveling already.
Yep.
So the fact that I don't have to wait in these lines and I don't have the anxiety, so I'm not sweating. I'm just boop to the front of the line. I get called on to the plane first. I get off first. Like, I get, pampered. I get like, I just feel so much better. It's like less stress, less anxiety. It is worth that to me 110%. Whereas before, I'm like, it's just not a bit. No, it is worth it to me all the way. Give me all the first class. And it's an energetic thing. Like, it really is an energetic thing that, like, you love yourself so much that you will not accept anything less than that. Even just, massages or just little things. I'd be like, oh, I don't need that. I don't need that. I don't need that. And now it's like, no, I need that. Like, I definitely need that. And so now it's just like, it becomes accustomed to your lifestyle now that it's like you're not budgeting for it. It's just already a part of the budget. Just like you pay your bills, it's part of the budget. It's just part of the budget. And that's because when you energetically continue to keep raising the bar and the frequency up and up and up, it's just something that's just a natural thing. So yeah, I just wanted to add that in there too, because I never thought that I would be somebody who first just traveled all the time, and then every time I traveled, it was always in first class. And I can't go back. I literally cannot go back. I'll tell you that right now.
And I mean, I don't know about you, but I make more money when I get consistent massages. So
I do too, because it's moving the energy around. You're more relaxed. I carry all the tension and the stress in my back. So when my back is hurting, I'm just like, so when I'm moving that energy around my lymphatic system, I feel good. I'm not swollen. I'm not sore. I just feel absolutely amazing. And when you're taking care of yourself, you're going to make more money in your business. You just glow better, you're happier, and you just attract more things. Even just by me deciding to start working out and eating better and all of that, in the beginning of when we went to Miami, I was at one of my heaviest states when we went to Miami. I couldn't even zipper up my boot. That's how bad it was. Okay. And I was like, nope, no more. I would work out for 30 days and then I would stop. And I said, nope, this time I'm not. So I've been consistently working out since like October 4th. And since then, since October 4th, I've lost 30 pounds and I'm 15 pounds away from my goal. That is insane. So if I already lost 30 pounds and I'm 15 pounds away from my goal, you do the math of how much that is and how much overweight I was. And it's showing up like in my energy, my stamina, like wanting to do more in my business, because it's a form of self-love. And when you accept nothing less than what you deserve, more amazing and beautiful things come to you.
Yeah. Amen. I think we'll end it on that, because if I continue talking, it's going to be about self-love and it's going to go into a whole
I know.
But I
For
think that
sure.
this was such a good one because this is the common thing, right? There's, a small percentage of people that are winning. Everyone else has access to the same thing. And they're like, how come it's not working for me too? So I hope that you listen to this, re-listen to it, share it to your teams, and really soak in like the things that we were saying and do the inventory. Like the way that you guys will win is not by just sitting and listening to these things and be like, oh yeah, that was cool. And like you go on about your day. It was like, it's integrating the things that were said. And a lot of the time you have to re-listen and then re-listen and then re-listen because you catch something new every time, because Tara will say something and then all of a sudden you'll go into your brain, you'll be like, oh shit, yeah, that really hit. And then you'll miss what else, we said. And then all of a sudden something else will sidetrack you, right? So it's like you have to re-listen and integrate. And then the last thing I will say on this is just another reminder that we are releasing our first ever 8-week mastermind, which I am so excited we've officially released to the public. We had a couple people get in behind the scenes over the last few days, but that mastermind is going to kick off here really, really soon, sometime next week. And it's really for next level. So if you're already making 5 figures and you want to really scale to, $50 to $100,000 per month. It's really for next level conversations about leadership, scalability, and those kinds of
With other people, because you're going to get us and then you're going to get other people in the mastermind that you guys are going to be mastermind with. So you're going to get like other people and what they're doing and how they're doing it. And it's just every mastermind that Jess and I have ever done, whether together or separate, has really taken us to that next level. And proximity is power, right? When you put yourself in the room with powerful women who are doing exponential things, you naturally will start to just do exponential things. So yeah,
And
we're excited.
here's the thing, you guys, it's going to be 8 weeks. So 8 calls with both me and Tara, plus you're going to get a Voxer chat. And I was actually doing the math on it the other day. And this container is for 8 weeks, less than 8 one-on-ones with me. And you get me and Tara and a Voxer. Like, absolutely insane. And so we're really excited about this. If you want some more information, just reach out to one of us with Mastermind, and we will get you the details for application, and we'll go from there.
Yes, amazing. So I hope you guys have an amazing week, and you can catch us on Thursday over on Spotify for our other podcast. I drew a blank there, for other podcasts where, we talk about things in the Wealthy Woman Playbook on how to elevate yourself to become wealthy, and what's in our playbook to really elevate ourselves.